Big news today. Disney has officially announced its intended opening dates for Walt Disney World. When, you ask? Well, it's going to be in the middle of July. And I've got a whole bunch more details after the intro. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Big news, right? Walt Disney World has a set date for reopen. Now, I don't intend to really get into any controversies over the opening in this video. Maybe I'll touch on them more in Saturday's news video, so if that's what you're interested in, come back for that on Saturday. Today, it's just going to be a relatively feel-good video with a whole bunch of information. So what do we know so far? We know that Disney World is looking at doing a phased reopening, and they're going to be beginning that with Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom opening on July 11th. And then EPCOT and Hollywood Studios will be opening 4 days later on July 15th. Now, this is considerably later than Universal Studios over in Orlando, which is opening here early in July. So they are waiting over a month longer than Universal. So why is that? Well, CEO Bob Chapek went ahead and told us on CNBC today, "We feel this is the right time for us in July. We've got a different situation, frankly, than Universal does because we're much bigger. We have a much more complex business. We've got a different labor situation, and at the same time, we're also going to be implementing a reservation system for our guests. And it's going to take some time to take the millions of reservations that we've already got on our books and then switch that over to our new reservation system. So we think July is the right time for us." Now, Bob Chapek is definitely right. Disney World is far bigger than Universal, both in terms of the number of people that go there, in terms of the size of the workforce, in terms of the size of the entire property itself. Which, bear in mind, the size of that property is what? Like 2 Manhattans put together. I mean, it's huge. So they say they're going to take this deliberate approach and really hammer it that way. They're going to have limits on attendance, reduced capacity for the theme parks and the restaurants and the retail, the attractions, buses, monorails, etc. All of that stuff is going to have reduced capacity in order to try to control the guest density throughout the park. Now, we don't know exactly what those numbers are going to be yet. We've heard rumors that it's going to be something like 30% and raised up. If you look at what happened over at Shanghai Disneyland, they started even lower than that and have been working up to 30%, where 30% is the maximum number of people they can have per the Chinese government. Here in Florida, that number is actually 50%. But it doesn't seem that Florida has any requirement as to the individual parks. That's really just kind of an overall 50%. So as far as dealing with density on the individual parks, since Walt Disney World has 4 parks, plus a couple of water parks, and plus Disney Springs, and plus all of the different resort hotels, just a little bit to deal with. Now there's going to be apparently a new theme park reservation system, and they say it's to manage attendance. Now, this is going to require you get a reservation for the park entry in advance. You can't just have a ticket and show up. You're going to have one specifically for that day. Now, how that applies for park hoppers, no idea. We don't have that news yet. Disney is sure to announce some more on that as we get closer. Of course, that's over a month and a half away still, so they got a lot of time to put out some of that news. Now, if you're hoping to go ahead and get tickets and reservations, well, you might not be in luck here, because right now, new ticket sales and the Disney Resort Hotel reservations are paused. The focus is going to be on guests who have already existing tickets and reservations, so those people can go ahead and get their tickets switched over to something in the new system. Also, Disney Vacation Club members can still go ahead and get their own new reservations. But yeah, for now, it's just those existing ticket holders, and by the way, that also includes annual pass holders, since they are ticket holders currently speaking. So they will be able to make reservations, and they're going to roll this out in phases. So Disney's going to be reaching out to all of those people shortly and letting them know how this will work for them. And then once all of that is done, then new ticket sales will be allowed, but only after that. And that said, it's going to be limited reservations due to the attendance limitations that Disney has. Oh, and one other quick note on those Vacation Club members. The Walt Disney World Vacation Club resorts and Fort Wilderness are going to be opening on June 22nd, so a little bit ahead of there where we'll have some of those resorts popping back open, at least for the Vacation Club members anyway. Now as to the actual differences that are out there, we have what's called the Enhanced Safety Protocols. And these health and safety measures are broken out into about 5 main categories as Disney is looking at them currently. There's enhanced protective measures, physical distancing, enhanced cleaning and sanitation, temperature and health screening, and limited contact enhancements. We only have a bare outline at this point. There's sure to come a lot more information as we get closer. But right now, Disney has gone ahead and said that all cast members and any guests, as long as they're 3 or older, have to wear masks while they're in the park or in the different resort locations. Now that said, there's apparently going to be potentially some relaxation zones. And those will be little locations on both the property and off the property that will allow guests to have the chance to remove their face coverings for a moment. And that's all the details we have on that right now, but there apparently will be something. Which, in the Florida heat and humidity, that could be nice to have a break from that for a moment. Well, short of having to go into a restaurant to go ahead and do so. Unsurprisingly, there will be plenty of hand washing stations and also lots of sanitizer all around, and also a bunch of old signage sitting there to make sure to remind you about social distancing and all of the safety measures that are going to be in place. There will also be plexiglass barriers installed at all the different retail and dining locations where there are points of sale to go ahead and protect both sides of those interactions. And we've seen this over in Disney Springs already. We've seen this over in Shanghai Disneyland as well, so nothing too super surprising here. For the physical distancing, they have said there will be reduced capacity. Again, we don't know what that's reduced to. And now, here's one that hurts. The experiences which draw large group gatherings, as Disney says, which means parades and nighttime spectaculars, and more, will return at a later date. They will not be there in middle of July. How long will it take before they return in some form? We shall see. We shall see. And then also, anything that Disney calls a high-touch experience will also not be happening. They will be unavailable for some period of time. So that means any kind of makeover opportunities, the playgrounds are closed, character meet and greets, all of those are going to be off, not happening. That said, the characters will still be in the parks, although at a distance. And we've seen this over in Shanghai Disneyland as well. So there will definitely be photo opportunities, even if you can't meet and greet them or get their autographs, etc. Unsurprisingly, for enhanced cleaning and sanitation, there's going to be all kinds of frequent cleaning in all of those beautiful high-touch locations and surfaces. So all of those dining tables, all of those handrails, the doors, I'm sure all of that stuff is going to go ahead and be cleaned and cleaned well and cleaned often. And lots of temperature screening. So before you get into the park, your temperature's taken. If it doesn't work, you'll probably get a second chance, just like over at Disney Springs. Also, the cast members are going to have temperature screenings too, so all around. And that's going to be third-party provided, just like over at Disney Springs, the whole little contactless handheld devices that they hold up and use. Same things. They'll be using that here too. Then there's some interesting limited contact enhancements that they've talked about. So they're really going to push cashless transactions. Not required, but they're going to push them. So definitely looking at credit card payments or things like that at least. They're also going to work in a lot more contactless payment options. So where you don't use a card or anything at all. They're also trying to use the magic bands to help do that. And they're going to try to go ahead and have some more mobile order options to help. And also they're even going to be offering contactless menus. So bring your phone in and scan that QR and bring up the menu up on your phone. And to keep everyone informed, they're going to be working ahead of time to go make sure everyone knows what's going on. And during the visit, they'll also have their social distancing squad, as they call it. A bunch of cast members will be going around the park to go help make sure people are aware of what they should be doing and maintaining good social distancing, etc. All the usual stuff you expect. Now, there will be additional information coming soon. That's what Disney said. So we'll definitely expect more over the next month and a half. But that said, what about the things we don't know yet? Well, we don't know exactly what those capacity numbers are. We'll probably get a better idea before it comes out. We don't know how the whole park hopping is going to happen. That one's an interesting, tricky one. We don't have an example from Shanghai Disneyland as it's one park. We also don't know how many rides are going to be really reduced, or what attractions also would be considered high large group area themes, so we won't have them going on at all. And there probably are going to be a few of those shows that will probably stop for just that. At least for the time being. But if Shanghai Disneyland was anything to go by for an example, we will probably get things like parades and fireworks back sooner than you expect. or at least in some form. They'll bring some of that back earlier. Well, here's one other piece of information for you. It does appear there may be shortened hours for the parks. Up on the app and the website, they do show reduced hours. So it looks like 9 to 7 for Magic Kingdom, 11 to 9 for EPCOT, 10 to 8 for Hollywood Studios, and 8 to 6 for Animal Kingdom. Take that with a grain of salt, as nothing official has been said on that. But Disney did go to the extent of changing it on both the app and the website, so it seems like that's a likely possibility. Now that said, there's no news yet on Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Nothing said at all, so we don't know when they may or may not be opening. Given the water park nature of them and having to deal with social distancing and trying to wear masks, they're a tricky one to open. So we'll see what we see on that, but I wouldn't go holding my breath, especially with most of Disney World not even open until the middle of July. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of information about Walt Disney World and its opening coming up in just over a month and a half. Soon we will have a Disney park back open in North America. So what do you think? Are you excited for Walt Disney World to reopen? Are you hoping to hear some more of my, unvarnished thoughts on Saturday? Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Give it a like, share it with other people who will too, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you always.